So this is our College GPA and Assignment Dashboard, and I'm going to try to do a quick tutorial and walk you through how to use it. So with this dashboard, you're going to start, for setup, you're going to start in the Course Summary tab. So this is your overall GPA and course data, and this table pulls all the information from all of your course tabs together, puts it into a summary, and does all the math basically. So on the left, you've got your course names. So this is kind of where you're going to want to set up your different courses that you want to plug into the workbook. You don't have to plug in a ton right this second. If you're following along, you're just going to want to pick a couple to kind of start out with. The template comes with two kind of built in, so you have some examples to build off of. You can delete them once you get going, or you can just rename them, change them, and edit the information in those tabs. So you'll see right now I've got set up as English 101 and Calculus 101. The rest of the information in the table is automatic and it's fed from those specific tabs. Now in order to set the course tabs up for these two, you're going to generally you would pick from one of our two course templates. So we have a percentage-based template and a points-based template. And the difference between the two is simply how the syllabus is set up. So if you have a percentage weight syllabus, you use the percentage template, and if you have a points-based syllabus, use the points-based template. So these do not have to add, I'm going to use the percentage as an example. They don't have to add up to 100% exactly. In this case it does, but they don't have to do it that way. The math will take care of itself no matter what it sums up to, just as long as the grade weights and all that match up to what your syllabus is, it'll work. It should work fine. Now, if you were setting this up and you go to set up for new courses, in order to add a course outside of, you can see I've got English 101 and Calculus 101 in here. You'll simply right-click on the tab, make a copy, and rename it to the course, which we'll go through that example. We'll go through an example of adding one in a little bit. So now on the English 101 tab, we'll work our way kind of top down. So class credits, so the class code is going to plug in English 101, and that's simply based on the fact that I've got the tab named English 101. So that's what pulls in, and that's what's going to show up in the header. Now the B I'll explain as we go. Class credits is 3 in this case, so it's a freshman level course. It's worth 3 college credits, and then college year is 1, right? So first year. Now to the left, you got basically your syllabus categories, your setup. So what are your different categories? I've got class exercises, homework, midterm projects, and final exam, and then an associated grade weight percentage. And again, if you have a points-based system, use the points-based tab, and you'll basically set up the same way. Now, that's kind of it for up here. We'll come back to what the scoring is. But as you go through the course, or from day one, you can go through your entire syllabus. A lot of times your professor will tell you, here's all your assignments, due dates. So from day one, you can basically fill this entire sheet out. So you can choose from your syllabus category. It's a drop-down selection. You can add in your assignment details, put a brief description in here, and then the due date. And this due date will play into your calendar, which I'll show in a little bit. And then you've got an actual versus hypothetical. So all this does is just tags it, whether it's an actual grade or hypothetical grade. It doesn't change the math. It doesn't do anything to the sheet. It's just a visual for you. So towards exam period, or exam time, if you want to have an idea of, okay, if I make this grade, how does it impact my GPA? Or aka, I need a 3.0 GPA. What grades do I need on which exam and which courses to get that 3.0 across my entire semester? You can play with some hypothetical final exam grades in here, because midterm in this case was 25, final exam was 35. So that's a huge percentage weight. So by playing with a grade in here for your final exam, it will impact your overall grade, and then it will play into your GPA calculation. So this is just a nice little tool, at exam time to kind of play with which courses you might need. It would help you determine which courses you need to spend more time on studying. Now, once you've got that information in here, you got your overall scoring table. So by category, so by syllabus category, You've got an overall count, so how many items or assignments are in that category, your overall grade for that category, and then the weight percentage. So the weight percentage is simply, I've got a 10% grade weight for class exercises. My overall grade for across all of them is a 90%. So that's 9 percentage points, and I do that across each category, and that gives you the 85.6. So the 85.6 is your grade, but you'll notice you got a B up here and 3 points. So how that works is there's an actual built-in GPA scale. This is editable, but it's also set up for, it should align with what most campuses do for a 4.0 grade scale. Is you've got your grade letter grade A plus, A minus, your grade min and max, grade min and max, and then the points you earn for each of those levels. So in this case, you had an 85.6, so that's a little over 83, so between a B and B plus. So you're going to get 3 points earned, 3 GPA points for that. So if I go back to English 101, GPA points earned is the 3, scale grade B, and then overall weighted points is 9 because it was 3 college credits and you're in 3 points, so it's 9. So it's just straight math. And then if I jump over to the Calc 101, you're going to see about the same. So you had a 90, which if I go to look at the GPA scale, so 90 is 3.67 points. And if I look at 4 times 3.67, that's my 14.68. And in this case, for Calc 101, it'd be an A minus based on the grade. Now you'll see I don't have any assignment details or due dates in here, so it's just averaging the 90% plugged in across everything. So of course, if I plug in 90 across all my different syllabus categories, then I should have a 90%, although my grade weights, and so this is a nice little math check, is just say it works. It's doing what it's supposed to. Now, with all your assignments and details in, and so we'll use English 101 as an example. So all these, based on these due dates, will pull into your GPA calendar. So if your assignment calendar. So if I jump over to assignment calendar, and I'm gonna back out for 1 second. Let's go to November. So English 101, November, I had an essay due on the 10th. So if I go back to English 101, so on November 10th, I got my first essay, right? Now all these other items were due in October. So I'll go back to that assignment calendar, and I've got it set for course English 101, and I'll change this to October, and then you'll see all those assignments pull in to which days are due, and you get a little table over here to the right, including ones that are upcoming that might be next month. So it kind of shows you future for English 101. So if I change this to calculus, it's not pulling in anything because if I go to Calc 101, there's just no dates and assignments put in here, so there's nothing for it to pull in. I'll go back to assignment calendar, change that to English 101. Now you also have an assignment summary tab, and what this does is it's kind of like the assignment calendar. This is your visual, but your assignment summary will allow you to, let's say for instance you've got 4 or 5 courses you're taking in a given semester. You can go in here and highlight and select those 4 or 5 different courses, and that pulls right out of your course summary. So I'll bounce back real quick. So you'll be able to select from those courses, and it's basically going to pull in your entire assignment list and due dates for each of those. So it's just a real quick visual to say across all the courses you want to look at what's coming due, and what you're responsible for, what you have to get done. And then this just the calendar selection, what feeds the calendar. This table is just automatic and pulls from these here. So now let's go to assignment calendar. I covered that. The GPA scale I covered. So then you get to your dashboard, and your dashboard is basically just a summary of your course summary and whatever math is pulled, or whatever courses and then the associated math that are pulled in. So in this case, your dashboard is going to show English 101, Calculus 101. I can hover over. I got 90% for Calc, and then I got 85.6 for English 101. Overall GPA is a 3.38, and if I look by academic year, Calc 101 was set to year 2, so that's a 3.67. This is a 3. So as you add courses, and then down here I've got assignment count by course. So this is just a neat visual to show how much work you've done over, throughout the semester and over your academic, 3 or 4 year degree or 2 year degree, whatever you decide to do. This says it does show up to year 8, but generally this will hold 40 courses. That's what it's set for, and that's basically a bachelor's degree. So I've set it 40 because it keeps the dashboard a lot less busy. You could always just use 2 if you needed to, if you were going for a doctorate, or a master's and you needed the bandwidth. But in general, this will cover you through at least a bachelor's degree. This one dashboard will. And I think that's essentially it. I guess there's one other thing. So let's say, for instance, we'll use the calc one because I don't have a ton of detail in here. Let's say you sign up for a course, you get a little ways in it, you knock out some assignments, you've got a little background, and then you decide you had to withdraw or you drop the class, and you're pulling out of it, so it's no longer impacting your GPA because you withdrew, so you don't need the math. But you don't want to delete the history. You kind of already had some work done, and you want to keep the information. So this block up here says link to GPA dashboard. If I turn this to no, and I'm just going to go back to the course summary to kind of show, and I'll zoom out a little bit. So it's pulling in right now. Calc 101 is pulling in. So if I go back to Calc 101 and I just hit no, I don't want to link it. So let's go back to course summary. It's not showing anything, and if I go back to my dashboard, it's now gone. So the name's there because it's pulling from the table. So if I take that out, it will now be gone, right? So I'll undo that. I'll put that back in. And then I'll go back to Calc 101, set to yes, and it's right back where it was supposed to be. Now for adding a new tab, I'm just going to show you as a real fast example. So English, let's do history. And I'll do history 101. You want to keep the names one word, no special characters, and no spaces. That's the key with this. So then I'll go down here and I'm going to pick a tab. Let's say this is points based. So I will move or make a copy, create a copy. I'm going to drop it down here next to Calc 101, hit OK. And then I'm simply going to go over, I'll drag it over here, and now all I have to do is name it the same thing that I put into the table. So history 101. So now history 101, I got an A-. And if I look at it's just based on, there's no information. I got one class exercise in here to 90%, so it tells me I got an A-. If I go back to my course summary, history 101, it says link. So I probably didn't have that linked. It's that link to GPA. It says no. So I'll hit yes, and I'll go back to course, and there it is, pulled it in. And if I go back to my dashboard, it pulled it in, and it's being calculated in my overall GPA. And it's just that fast. So that's basically it for setup and for use. Every download, every dashboard comes with a PDF guide, and it walks you through that in a ton of detail. So if you have questions, feel free to shoot us a message. Don't ever hesitate to reach out if you're stuck on something or something doesn't look right. I make changes and improvements all the time, so therefore I make mistakes all the time. But I appreciate you watching. And again, reach out if you need any support, and appreciate your interest in our products.